5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They ain't never seen nothing like this before. Lit the room when I came through the front door. Ask me if I should overcome, what for? Train in the trees, please pardon my sycamore. Touch burning sands, cross lands, and stormy shore seasons in the year, yeah. Ain't no channel for champions and chain no fear. Yeah, the champions, yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Jeremiah Bannister, with another edition of Paleocrat Diaries. It's so exciting to be here with you again today. I gotta admit, I'm not gonna lie, I totally love doing this show. I am so glad that people encouraged me to do this, right? Because I wasn't necessarily planning on doing this, right? It was one of those things that I had to be encouraged. I had to be nudged along. Just a little itsy bit. But now that I'm here, and I'm super pumped, and I've got a great show for you today. There's a whole bunch of amazing topics. We're going to begin, of course, talking about the recent passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Okay, that happened, just yesterday? Yeah, got a whole bunch of people messaging me, wondering, in fact, if I was live. Okay, that's a thing. They were wondering if I was live, and they were like, look, you could have, this breaking news. This is a big deal. But I was not live, right? Not yet. I've kind of, I've batted the idea around. Going 5 days a week, 2 hours a day. I don't know if it would work. I don't think it would work with the schedule as it stands right now, working with Jonathan and Holy Faith TV. Okay, so I don't know if it would work with that, but I could do my own stuff on my own channel. Okay, so maybe it's possibility. Super pumped. So talking about that, right? Talking about the reaction to that has taken place, both on the right and on the left. And I think that my position might surprise some people. Maybe not. People may have been around when Justice Scalia passed and heard my remarks during that time. And if they did, then they may know a little bit about where I'm going with this. But there was crazy reactions, right? On the one hand, people dancing on graves. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of that. On the other hand, on the left, you have the crazy loon birds out there talking about burning everything down if Trump does what Obama said is the responsibility of the president in a time like this. Of course, when he was in office. And that's how the game is played. So we're going to talk about that. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun. Let me see, what else is there? Oh, yeah. AOC sounding the alarm that the November election is about survival. And look, a little bit, right? And we need to understand that going into it. We're going to talk about the deep state. We're going to talk about a university professor being suspended. There's a viral video, and this doesn't happen that often. I'm kind of glad. We'll find out more, right? We'll figure out if it's going to stick on this lady. But talking about how she hopes that Trump supporters die, okay, before the election. We're going to talk about that. Let's see, what's this one? Oh, yeah. DHS leaked email confirms Antifa is an organized group. See, we knew this, but I'm going to provide some perspective even on the idea of organization, because I think a lot of people on the right are going to take that right away and go, look, it's an organization that's hierarchical. It's got a center point, and I don't believe that's true. Okay? We're going to talk, of course, about COVID. We're going to talk about Betsy DeVos. Betsy DeVos, she was actually in Grand Rapids recently. Not just in Grand Rapids. She was chilling at my kid's school. Okay? She was chilling there because our school is mega dope. It's a classical Catholic curriculum there. So the kids are learning classical education. It's crazy because there are things like reading classical literature, Dante, right? Homer. Reading the Aeneid and the Iliad, reading Beowulf and Old English, and I think 4th grade. I think the year that they did that, okay? So, and not only that, but to set up debates where you have to, in 4th, 5th, 6th grade, debates where you need to know 3 answers yes, 3 answers no, and I think the one I remember most had to do with Beowulf and whether or not he died a noble death. And you had to come prepared. You had to know what was up before you even rolled into class, because the teacher was going to make the decision on whether or not you were going to be saying yes or no, and you had to be prepared. They'll even monitor as they do speeches and different presentations or recitation where they have to recite a poem. They do that all the time. They learn long form memorization and things like that. And they'll monitor whether or not, are you shifting your feet? Are you fidgeting in your pocket? What are you doing? Do you use a lot of verbal pauses? I do that. It's changed over the years. I used to say, and it was this really elongated thing. And now I say, right? It's still a verbal pause. Still a verbal pause. Talking about Lady Gaga and how all Americans are just born with white supremacy and all the stuff that she's doing to figure it out. The switch in the Latinos and how they reject, it's a surprise to the New York Times that Latinos reject progressives' identity politics and the effect that that's going to have on 2016. There was a great question that was posed to a writer, to Joe Hoft over at the Gateway Pundit, on whether or not President Trump should use the Defense Production Act to order Silicon Valley to open up to free speech. It's a fascinating concept. I'm going to talk about the Connecticut Public Schools transgender athletics policy risks losing federal funding. Same thing with DeVos. I never finished that. How DeVos is calling bluff on these schools that are insisting that they're racist. Because guess what? They might lose federal funding. Oh, you are? You're institutionally racist? Okay. You're irreparably so. You'll never be able to get around it. You'll never be able to avoid it. Well, I don't think we can actually fund you. Yeah, that's happening. We're going to talk about a church in, where is this crazy place? You know, I may as well just start with this. Let's go right now. We're going to go right now over to this. Look at this. Bam. What a group of weirdos. Church launches Sunday school ad depicting Jesus as bearded lady with breasts. And I wasn't going to actually start with this, but I think I'm going to, because it really does show, and I know this is in Europe. Okay, where is it? Let's see here. Oh, Church of Iceland. Well, first of all, get a scope on this. Get a scope on that. If you had to guess the logic behind this, if you had to guess, what is it that the creators of this image over at the Church of Iceland, yeah, beware of that place. They want your kids. They definitely do. If you had to guess, what is the rationale that they had to figure this out? What do you think it would be? What do you think it'd be? Okay. We'll get to that. We got this one here. Then we're going to end up on this. Actually, I know this guy. Steve. He's my boy. Over at LifeSite News. And this is the first time I've ever actually shared anything from LifeSite, which is a bummer because I enjoy it. I think they've got a lot of great stuff over there. You know, part of it is that it's really difficult to go to different websites and find something happy. And I used to have kind of that criticism about Catholic websites and stuff and say, I don't know, I go over to Church Militant, and I love Church Militant, okay? Love Michael Voris. But at the same time, you go and you're kind of like, oh no, the world's going to hell. And you go, to all these different places, 1 Peter 5, doesn't matter. You go there and you're like, oh my gosh, everything, the world's on fire. But then I thought about it and I said, all the sites that I go to, maybe all the sites worth going to at this point are writing about how the world is on fire. And this show here is definitely talking about the world being on fire. But not just that, because we're going to have really great memes. We're going to have really, really, really great memes. And so a lot of them about parenting. So I don't just, I get this flack, man. People sit there and they're like, you just ripping on overweight people. I'm like, bro, I'm overweight. Okay. I'm fat shaming myself into this kind of Hercules type body, right? That's what I'm trying to do. But no, it's not, obviously, okay? So there's a whole bunch of different memes. A lot of them are going to take me by surprise. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun. But let's begin, okay? Let's begin where we ought to. With tragic news. Oh, look, LifeSite again. Okay, cool. Yeah, breaking. Pro-abortion Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, dead at 87, 45 days before election. Now, it's true. She is pro-abortion, and that's why LifeSite would put that on there. But it was a lot more than that. Okay, and it wasn't always the worst thing in the universe, by the way. There were times that she took people off guard, which is one of the reasons why Latin Mass attending Roman Catholic and strict constructionist Justice Scalia, why he had a special fondness. Were they best friends? I've heard this. And if you, look, I better say this before we move on. You're welcome to answer any question at any given time. If you're in a comment thread, because I'm all over the place, it's on like, 15 different pages and groups and channels and Periscope. And so if you're watching this right now and you're thinking, man, I'm not seeing a bunch of people in this particular platform, right? So if you're there and you're like, man, there's me and maybe one other person, that's okay. I will see that comment, and we'll talk about it at the end. Okay. So if you have anything to say throughout the entirety of the program, make sure to put it in, because it will end up looking like this. Let's see if we can go ahead and. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah. Welcome to the best psyop on the internet. I love you, man. Yeah. But you can see. Look, see, you got Facebook up there. YouTube, no Periscope yet. Now, and the thing is, just because it says Facebook doesn't mean it's on one Facebook page. There's a whole bunch of them. Okay? A whole bunch. And so, you could be on one of many different pages, but we're still going to end up being able to see that. And we'll make sure at the end of every show, that's what we do. Okay? So we got a big show for you. All right, moving on here. Hey, LifeSite, you got to fix something for me. This is the second time that I've seen this. I saw it in the article by Steve. See this? Look at this. This is perfect. Lines up great. But then you come down here and look at this. It's like super tiny. You can't even barely see. Is it Martin Berger or Bjerger? How do you pronounce that with the two dots? Is it Bjerger? Bjerger? All right, there we go. Pro-abortion and pro-homosexuality Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg died today. This is, of course, written yesterday. At 87 years of age, she was the oldest of the 9 justices. John Henry Weston, the co-founder and editor-in-chief of LifeSite, said, "May God have mercy on her soul." Justice Ginsburg was known for her friendship with the late Justice Antonin Scalia, a pro-life Catholic who attended the traditional Latin Mass. We hope that his faith had an impact on her later in her life, and that she repented of her pro-abortion activism at the end. She died, of course, complications of metastatic pancreas cancer. Okay. According to an NPR report, Ginsburg had told granddaughter Clara Spera, is her name really Clara Spera? It's like Julia Gulia. I don't mean to be rude. I'm sorry. My most fervent wish is that I will not be replaced until a new president is installed. And this is the rub, guys. This is the rub, because I'm not going to eulogize. There's been about a bazillion people eulogizing RBG on this, right? You can find out all about her life. There's documentaries, in fact. You can go and you can watch them. You can watch long-form interviews where they talk about her, and people who love her and people who hate her will talk. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. However, I am going to say that not only her death, and that was always kind of this specter, this monster off in the distance, that everybody knew it could happen. Well, they knew it would eventually, right? She lived a long life. She was old. But they knew it could happen, and they knew it could happen during the Trump administration, which is why I think it's why she didn't resign. In fact, I don't even think so. It's obvious, right? We all know this. She didn't resign because of what she just said right there. But this puts things at an entirely new level. There's always been a kind of urgency on the left to get rid of Orange Man. They hate his guts. They've been traumatized since the moment, that moment when they realized that everything they thought about Hillary in election 2016 was a big phantasm. From that moment onward, it was on to the races. And just everything you could possibly throw at him. The goal was get him out. And in fact, if most Democrats were honest, deep down inside, all of them were by any means necessary. Very few would probably, if they were honest, if they could honestly reveal their heart, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't care if it was over something that was a complete lie. And you know how we know this? Because they buy into everything. They spread fake news like crazy. It's an epidemic. Major proportions. They'll share it like crazy because they want it. They want it. And not only that, but they have this kind of ends justifies the means problem. Because they're godless. Patty McMurray wrote, Ruth Bader Ginsburg reportedly made a pompous dying wish. If that's true, then yes, it's quite pompous. 100% fed up shares the arrogant wish that a new judge shouldn't be selected until after the 2020 election is not what an objective and fair judge would say in the last moments of her life. It would be actually what a fanatic would say. And fanatics would say that it's what a patriot would say. So believe me, okay, on this, that if that is your dying, that's the end of you. That's the end of you. Number one, she knew better. That ain't how it works. That's not how it works. You don't sit there and go, well, come on, man. It was her dying wish. At that point, man, people would be like, I have a dying wish that somebody who replaces me would be the exact same. Pressure them with guilt manipulation so that they do it. It's not how it works. Okay. Linda Sarsour, a total dingbat, a racist too. Right? Complete loon bird. Put her on the list of Looney Tunes. Linda Sarsour, and by the way, I'm glad to see that she's been kind of maligned. It's amazing because I remember talking about her back in 2015? Talking about her 2016. And, at the time I was an unbeliever. And I'm surrounded by all these leftists. And they were all buying in, drinking the Kool-Aid on critical race theory during the whole Me Too thing. That Black Lives Matter had already started and, had been around for a little while. And everybody's drinking the Kool-Aid and Orange Man bad is happening everywhere. And I remember talking about Linda Sarsour and people who were against what Sarsour believes on a whole bunch of topics were like, I don't know, man, you're being really rude toward a woman. And I'm thinking, I'm adequately describing her. She's a terrible human being. Okay. Oh, terrible person. But she went on, I don't even know his Twitter. Lord have mercy. May Ruth Bader Ginsburg rest in peace. May we not be in peace until we defeat the fascist in the White House. See, I don't think that she would be able to actually define fascism in a meaningful way. Kind of like the guy that wrote the handbook about Antifa. That guy was asked, how exactly do you define this? His definition, for one, he admitted, well, that's actually, kind of hard to do. Well, it's central. I mean, your whole brand is that you're against something, this specific thing. And you want to know why he finds it tricky? Is because he wants to use the word in a way that it just doesn't work. So does she. Because if you take money down, you ask most people what they think fascism is, they'll describe a bunch of things that would, if true, would apply to practically every civilization that has ever existed. Almost every single political economy and structure and system of government that's ever existed ever. Okay? Which is almost like if it's everything, it's nothing. You sit there and you say, well, okay. So like the Spartans and stuff? The Athenians? Mitch McConnell going to try to push this through. We need to organize. Officially code red. It's been code red in her brain now for years. So she went bonker town. Is that it? Oh, yeah. And this was amazing. is that you see the crazy people over there on the left, and we're going to see more in a second. But then you have Trump, and I was so happy. I saw a meme that was shared that had Tiny Dancer by Elton John playing in the background. And for those who don't know, my daughter, who died of brain cancer, they have teams. Okay, so like, a support network, and they call it a team, the basketball team. And she chose Tiny Dancer, not because of the song, although we did share the song when she made it public and it became a hashtag. It actually has to do with something I wrote. Something I wrote about her called She Danced Me a Story. It's also going to be the name of my book. But Trump, so I'm hearing this song, and Trump comes up, and he's taken off guard. Look at him. I almost thought of playing it, but I didn't want to get in any trouble. But he's taken off guard. He didn't know. And he sits there totally presidential. Totally 100% presidential. Calm and in his wits. Even if he wanted to say something else. Even if he was tempted. He took a moment. He took a breath. That's not a person who's out of his mind. That's a person who knows the moment. Who knows what is required of a statesman, of a leader. Said she did great things. Now look, and he has disagreements. He thought that she acted in a way that was totally not becoming of her role as a justice. And it's true. Because she was in the orange man bad world. She'd been traumatized. Never got over it. Should have retired. But he did a good job. Radical left threatens riots and war to burn it down if RBG is replaced by Matt Margolis. This is over at pjmedia.com. Look at this. Oh, Samantha B. I didn't know there was the F word there. I apologize. Yeah, she's a gross person. She is. She's a nasty woman. She's nasty. She's a bad influence on little girls. Let's see here. Oh, Reza Aslan, formerly of CNN. Oh, he's got bad words too. Man, we got to blur this stuff out. I gotta figure out how to do that. Because these people don't know how to control themselves. If they even try to replace RBG, we burn the entire effing thing down. You sound like a terrorist, man. You sound like a terrorist. You are, essentially, that's what you're talking about, man. If they even try. Oh. Yeah, you sound like that person, Weather Underground terrorist Bill Ayers. Suggests the Civil War has already begun. In fact, maybe one of the few things that person is right about. Reza wasn't even being metaphorical. In response to a quote from McConnell, President Trump's nominee will receive a vote on the floor of the United States Senate. He said, over our dead bodies. Literally. You're a terrorist, man. You're a freaky terrorist. I've known that for a long time, man. I've had my suspicions about it. Others promised to shut down the country or Congress should the Senate take up a nomination. We're shutting this country down if Trump and McConnell try to ram through an appointment before the election. Ram through? Do you know how long it took for Ginsburg to get through? Do you know? Do you know? No, of course not. Because you wouldn't say such a thing. Bo Willimon. Who is that guy? Look at his face. Remember him. It's bad. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Look at this. There's old Reza. Obviously, look at the kind of junk he's into, man. Look at that. Look at that, America. Reza Aslan, the former CNN host, who once ate... What the... ate human brains? Hey, man, just try it. You might like it. It tastes good. I'm diverse. I'm tolerant of your culture. Look at that. Where would you even find this guy on the left? If you saw him on the street, you'd be like, look, the police need to clean up the town. It's just getting real rough. Oh, it's just some human brains. Oh, yeah, he advocated for assaulting the Covington Catholic Nick Sandman. Tweeted a threat to, burn the entire thing down. Oh, look at this. Yeah, he ate human brains during a segment for his show on the Agori Nomads, a fringe cannibalistic Hindu sect outside the Hindu holy city of Varanasi. His face was smeared with human ashes, and he also drank alcohol from a human skull. Yeah, dude, this guy, beware. Oh my gosh. Blue Lives Matter. Blue Lives Matter. Okay, big time. I support the boys in blue. They protect me from crazy people like you. Oh, the segment concluded with the nomad throwing feces. Diversity, yay! Multiculturalism. Liberal woman posts selfie video of hysterical meltdown over death of Justice Ginsburg. Ruth, you just had to make it to 2021. You don't talk to people who died that way. You just had to make it. Why didn't, and when she says it, it sounds like she's like, you should have tried harder. That's all we were demanding of you. And look at this lady's face. Ooh. And she's driving all messed up. Foaming at the mouth. People on the side of the road, I think she's got rabies. That's why she's driving so fast. Go into the hospital. Bring her to the hospital. But see, here's the thing. Marsha Blackburn is right. And people may not like this. People may not like this. There's precedent. There is precedent for a short confirmation process. Don't believe me? Let's read. This is over at Breitbart. Ashley Oliver. Senator Marsha Blackburn, Republican Tennessee, said there's precedent for confirming a U.S. Supreme Court judge in a short period of time. Providing her remarks Friday on Sirius XM. I didn't even, I gotta be honest, I didn't even really know Sirius was still around much. I mean, I guess I did because I know Breitbart News is on there. Who listens to Sirius anymore? Is Sirius like a big thing? I have an old car, so maybe like all the new cars have it in there and stuff. Breitbart Tonight with host Jerome Hudson. I'd love to be on the show. Breitbart News Tonight. Have me on. Show me what's up with Sirius XM. I'd love to know more about that. Okay, let's see here. There is precedent for the process to transpire in a short period of time. Bear in mind, Blackburn said, John Paul Stevens was confirmed in 19 days. The left liked him. He was a seller. 19 days. Sandra Day O'Connor, 33. They loved her. Justice Ginsburg was confirmed in 42. That's less than what we have right now leading up to Election Day. That's what I'm saying. They're like the crazy maniacal, violent protesters outside the RNC demanding that Rand Paul say her name. All the while, Miss Taylor, her name is on a bill that very senator put forward. They're ignorant. They're savages. Their hatred is so hot that they can't think straight anymore. They don't even want to try. They just assume the worst. Don't you dare replace Justice Ginsburg before the election, that would be too fast. Yeah, Justice Ginsburg might have been confirmed in a shorter amount of time than that. But what? There ain't no buts. It's war. It's war. I hate to be this way. People who know me know this. I hate to be this way. I'm Machiavellian true, right? But I have never more in my life identified with the words of Andrew Breitbart, memorialized forever. When he's sitting there and he's like, you want to call us racist? You want to call us all this stuff that's wrong? It's wrong. You want to do that to us? And he sits back. War. Yeah. It's war. It was war with Kavanaugh. What you did with Kavanaugh, look, I don't even like Lindsey Graham, but he's right. What you did, you don't even know. What you've done with Trump, you don't even know. We're going to push, and we're going to push hard, because that is what is always done. That is what America does. It's what Obama would have done, per his own words at the time. It's what Schumer and Pelosi have supported. It's what Democrats, when they're in power, have supported. And we don't base this policy off of the dying wish of someone who's lost her partisan mind, who didn't do the right thing and simply resign. It was obvious she had to. Yeah, look at that. Figures. Now there's a video of Obama arguing in 2016 on the need to fill an open SCOTUS slot immediately. Look at this. All your friends on the left that are crying and complaining about this and threatening to burn stuff down, when this was going on, it was the furthest thing from their mind. Former President Barack Obama issued a statement late Friday night on the passing of Supreme Court Associate Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And here's the thing. You know, he was, yeah, you guys, you can't do that. But there's a video about it. There's a video. Yeah, that's what he wrote. Already this past June, we saw a deadlocked Supreme Court with no tie-breaking vote, unable to reach a majority on a major immigration case, leaving our nation's immigrants in limbo. In fact, now there's a video where Obama argued the U.S. Constitution demanded the empty slot be filled immediately. Here it is. Barack Obama. The Constitution is pretty clear. Oh, look at that. It's not very ambiguous, is it? About what's supposed to happen now. When there's a vacancy on the Supreme Court, the President of the United States is to nominate someone. The Senate is to consider that nomination, and either they disapprove that nominee or that nominee is elevated to the Supreme Court. Historically, this has not been viewed as a question. But you're special, aren't you? You're special, aren't you? It doesn't apply to you. This is what makes me furious. This actually makes me angrier than almost anything in the universe, is when I see grotesque hypocrisy amongst our leaders. And what's mind-blowing is that they pretend that we don't have a Wayback Machine. It's a running joke. We can go back and we can look and we can say, oh, wow, look at what he said back here. They've got these clips that they'll put together. Just a whole series of quotes that totally contradict what they're saying now, over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's a joke. You're a joke. Mr. Obama. You are a joke, man. You're a scheming joke. We all know better. We all know better than to take you seriously about this. Toss him out. And just like that, Chuck Schumer's words come back to bite him. Same thing. Look at this. February 22nd, 2016. Attention GOP. He was shoving it in the face, just like I'm doing now. Senate has confirmed 17 SCOTUS justices in presidential election years. Hashtag do your job. Ain't that a thing? Ain't that a thing? That's what I'm saying. So when people go, yeah, but it's different now. No, it is not. Don't let them play this game. Don't let them play you. Because if they do that, they're playing your children. It's why they don't do it. And look, let's say Trump said, you know what, okay, look, I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to stomp Biden. Number one, they're not even going to recognize that. They're not even going to allow him to publicly state when he wins. They haven't even put it into a possibility that maybe he would. It's projected he's going to crush Biden in the Electoral College. Oh, but then you got weeks to go. So for that amount of time, we're going to go ahead and make it so that you can't even say anything about it. And let's say that in the end, it was still Trump. They won't. They're not going to accept it. They haven't accepted reality on anything since this began. Not even the things that they otherwise like and have supported their entire lives. Nothing. Nothing. Don't believe them. Forward we go. But see, here's the thing. This is why. Because AOC sounds the alarm in wake of Ruth Bader Ginsburg's death. November is about survival. And to them, that's what this is. It is about survival. The idea to them that they can live another day. That's the brain, the mindset. They're worse than the end times madness crowd. They are. They're worse. They're worse than the people on the corner talking about the rapture's about to happen. They're worse. It's an apocalyptic death cult. It's so demonic. It's so imminent. Everything is imminent right now. 12 years, 8 years, we're all doomed. If Trump wins, we don't live another day. Liar. Liar, you fanatical freak. Liar. Yeah. What's wrong? Come on. Does President Trump have the deep state working against him? Yes, and they're right now in hyperdrive. But this is talking about the CDC. When you think of the CDC, you probably think of scientists intent on solving health problems and concerned with public health, not social justice warriors who are intent on defying President Trump. However, big however here, Health and Human Services Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs, Michael Caputo, warned in a Facebook Live video this may be precisely what's going on. Yes, and look, I'll just put it this way. I used to be involved with a group called Center for Inquiry. Okay? I was involved in a group. We're going to switch this out here. I was involved in a group called Center for Inquiry. And a very large secular organization. It used to be educational. It was an educational nonprofit. They focused on science. Of course, they were all liberals. They didn't believe that they were socialists, but deep down inside, the vast majority of them definitely were. It's like God's in embryo with the Mormons. Right? It's just waiting to emerge. That's all. It just took a matter of time. And in this case, Orange Man bad. But that group, when Orange Man won, they lost their minds. I'd never seen anything like it. It was frightening. And it was across the board. It wasn't restricted to just that. And I'm not meaning to malign those people. It was frightening from a perspective that I was, being a Trump voter. There were situations, I mean, it was frightening. They were convinced that Trump was a Nazi. He's Hitler. His supporters, they're all Nazis and fascists, all of them. My mom and dad. They couldn't define fascism. It's not their forte. They're no good at this. But they made the switch. Political action stuff. Yeah, apparently, according to Caputo, the career scientists haven't gotten out of their sweatpants except for meetings at coffee shops to plot how they're going to attack Donald Trump. And we've known this. This kind of thing's been going on for a while, talking about people in D.C. as part of the resistance. That there were these networks and cells that privately met. I've known of some. I believe I know some who've hosted a couple events. I've seen pictures. Apparently, Caputo also warned of an armed insurrection following the election if the president won. Yeah, he did. He said, what did he say? Go buy the bullets? And if people think, oh no, scientists don't get involved in that. Number one, you don't know jack about how scientists have behaved for a long time. You should read Blank Slate by Steven Pinker. Just read the very beginning of it about E.O. Wilson. Do it. Read it. Read about the craziness that's been going on for a long time. That's what I said. When people they're scientific, it covers and gives a cover to their mysticism. Christopher Rufo does great work, by the way. He's the one going on Tucker Carlson calling stuff out. Has leaked documents. Talking about, let's see here, where is it? CDC. Okay, so we're talking CDC. Here's what it says. Let's look. Documents posted by Rufo show the training is textbook critical race theory. Oh, let's see what it covers. Initial sessions are focused on, quote, racism, sexism, and other systems of inequality. There it goes. There's that language, that mumbo jumbo crap. I'm telling you, this is pseudoscience, conspiracy whack jobs. Teaches CDC employees that they must address institutionalized racism. Calls racism a public health crisis. Because everybody's got it. It is their original sin, but they wrap it up because they're eminent, because they're secular humanists. Because they're secular humanists, it's eminent. It's part of your nature. It's not just simply a spiritual thing that you can have forgiven. There's no regeneration and rebirth, just re-education and replacement. They gloat that old people die because then their views are gone. And then we'll rule. Sickos, man. That's sicko junk. What they don't understand, of course, is that they're not making babies, and so they will one day be the old people. It's so stupid. So dumb. Systemic racism leads to police killings of black and brown men. Not statistically, by the way. Percentage-wise, no way. You should watch a Paul Joseph Watson video on that, actually. It's about 4 years old. Still quite good. Very, very good, actually. Systemic racism also leads to a disproportionate impact on COVID-19 on communities of color. Listen to the voodoo talk here when they say disproportionate impact. Systemic racism also leads to disproportionate impact. You know, you sit there and you go, well, couldn't it be other things too? Like, you're making a whole bunch of assumptions here about groups and about the way groups behave CDC employees must target and destroy the values of focus on the individual. Yeah. Oh, well, there it is. There's that weird crap from the National Museum of African American History and Culture, drafted by a Jewish guy. So I don't want to put all the blame here on black people. I mean, they didn't think of that one for themselves. Don't mean to be rude, but it's true. Meritocracy, they didn't think of critical race theory either. Critical theory didn't come from them. It's a white man thing. CDC employees must target and destroy the values, okay? Meritocracy and American exceptionalism are myths. Oh, okay. White supremacy is a barrier to achieving health equality. They're supposed to encourage employees to join an anti-racism collective. Collectives? 8 teams to focus on various areas. Communication, scientific publication, policy, and legislation. Yes, because this is totally a whole enchilada type of thing. They understand that it takes the whole deal. If we just had power over this lever, and this one over here, and this one over here, then if we controlled the total environment, we could make people the way we want. That's why egalitarianism is a political weapon. You should read Samuel Francis on that. Amid the pandemic, some moron in the CDC thinks this is how employees should be spending their time, in direct defiance of a presidential order to cancel this type of training. Yeah. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and shut some of these things down. Trying to save my battery life here. And if you ever see the top of the screen kind of flip up and down, that's what's going on. Because my battery is dying. It's dying over here. I need to get a new I need to just get a new computer. It's totally true. Totally true. All right, we're almost. Okay. University suspends professor for viral video wishing Trump supporters would die before the election. Look at her face. Holy moly. Oh, man. She's struggling. A university in West Virginia has suspended a professor after a video featuring her wishing the Trump supporters would get coronavirus and die before the election. It went viral. Professor Jennifer Mosher, who teaches in Marshall University's biology department. There we go. I told you, kooks, man. Loon birds. Placed on administrative leave as an investigation began following the overtly political statement. That's the video. I don't have audio on this yet. And I'm nervous about copyright claims, man. I don't want to play around with that. My manager kind of spooked me. I've become the type of person, and think about that. This is an admission. I've become the type of person, which means she wasn't always, where I hope they all get it and die. I'm sorry, but that's so frustrating. I don't know what else to do. You can't argue with them. You can't talk sense with them. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Talk to me. Talk to me. Because unlike unlike the others who, scientific minds, for example, in the CDC, who subscribe to critical race theory and deny objectivity, who deny linear thought, who deny Western philosophy with its standards for reason and for logic, its expectations, like the burden of proof. Come on over. We can talk. I'll make you some pork chops. She goes on to say that Trump supporters dying is, quote, the only saving hope I have right now. This lady is in desperate need for real. And all pork chop jokes and stuff aside, for real. Well, not entirely a joke. I do carnivore diet. I make great pork chops. But, point is, she needs to find Jesus. Imagine if this was the only hope in your life. I mean it. Think. Have you been in a really tough place? Have you ever felt that there were very few things? Like, I've been there. I wake up in the morning and I see my kids. I see my wife. When I lost my daughter to cancer, I didn't know how people could continue. And then I saw them. And I remembered the phrase, never give up and keep on smiling. And as mad as I get on here, some of it's theatrics. Right? Part of it's just me being me. Having fun. I'm mad about it. But I know how to keep on smiling. This person is the only saving hope. And she knows what she was saying is wrong, because then she says she's going to stop talking about it because I really should not be talking about politics. It's true. She knew she was wrong. Breaking: DHS leaked an email confirms that Antifa is an organized group. Let me say there's a little bit of an asterisk here. Ian Miles Chong over at thepostmillennial.com. And by the way, I kind of like this up here. Let me see if I can get to it. You see how it says 2-minute reading? I kind of dig that. You kind of know in advance, kind of know how long you're in for. An internal email from the Department of Homeland Security leaked to CBS Catherine Herridge late Monday, detailing that the violence in Portland was not opportunistic. So first of all, I believe it's just talking about Portland, but rather that it was organized, confirming long suspected details about the Antifa movement. This is where sometimes conservative people or people generally on the right, even the intellectual dark web types, that they might take something that is specific to an area and apply it to a whole. And I don't think that that's very accurate. I might be wrong. I'd love to talk to Ian. I'd love to have him on the show. Nothing against him at all, by the way. The email explains that Antifa is organized and runs contrary to reports in the mainstream media. That it's not an impromptu movement. Right? Or that it arose organically. And that's true. Look, I said this for a bazillion years. Okay? Even before I was born, I was saying it. Is that the idea of, this movement is organic, that it's, it just arose out of nowhere. Right? There was no planning and strategizing. That's super rare. I mean, I'm serious. Very, very, very rare. Hardly ever happens. I'd love to hear of examples where it has. See where those are now. A recent article in the Washington Post by Mark Bray. Oh, that's the guy. That's the author of Antifa Anti-Fascist Handbook. That's the guy who can't even describe fascism very well, because it would apply to every other group. It would almost be as if fascism wasn't something that actually was created in the 20th century. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they always forget. They always forget. They like to downplay. They like to downplay some of the fountainheads, right? Like Mussolini. They like to downplay that. It's not really that anymore. Why? Because central to Mussolini, central to Hitler, is the idea that a citizen's identity is the supreme thing is the state. That they are completely dependent on the state for their identity and meaning. They're statist to the core. The state's God, essentially. I mean, they make room for religion, but the state's above it. You see it even in the symbols that say that the state flag must be flown above the religion flag. He was trying to dispel some myths about Antifa, claims that the group is not an organization, but rather a tradition of militant anti-fascism. It might be. It might be a tradition of militant anti-fascism, that the people have this tradition, but that doesn't exclude the idea. It doesn't make it impossible that the people who share that tradition also organize. The article disputed claims that Antifa masterminds violence at Black Lives Matter protests. That's true. Because there's a lot of black people that do it too that are not at all involved with Antifa. We need to be specific. Those groups and white people with BLM who don't know what Antifa is or don't care. Not meaning to just dog on black people who are involved, the radicals, the radical factions of BLM. Let's see here. A core set of threat actors are organized. They show up in Portland night after night, and they share common TTPs, that is, tactics, techniques, and procedures. And they're drawing on like-minded individuals to their cause. There was actually a video. I don't know if I kept it. But it's of, what's his name, man? Where's the patch? Neocon. Okay? He's a neocon. He's like a McCain guy, right? But he's also a darling of kind of the establishment right? Right? The turning point right. Not a big fan. But he grilled FBI Director Wray, grilled him, talking about what qualifies, for example, as a domestic terrorist organization. Antifa and maybe BLM. All three. All three. Definitely Antifa. Answers about COVID. Okay, turning the page a little bit. Still talking about, these are things that because of the grand scheme, because of the resistance, because of Orange Man Bad and Trump derangement syndrome, because of this satanic secular humanism that's made everything imminent and transformed politics into pure things of power, pure exchanges of power and domination, and by any means necessary, this makes sense. Talking about how, while COVID is obviously a crazy, wild thing, real, I don't deny its reality. I don't deny the severe effects, the moderate effects, the mild effects. And when people say mild, I say beware of that. Beware. I'm not a principled anti-masker. At the same time, they're correct to talk about the hidden cost analysis. My friend Justin, right? He's like a libertarian guy, but he's learned a lot over the years. He's greatly benefited from reading people like Jonathan Haidt. We both were good friends, and I'm the godfather to his daughters. Right? Awesome dude. Him and his wife, amazing people. They used to be atheists too, big time. She returned to the Catholic Church. He converted. Powerful. Okay. But he talks a lot about the hidden cost of things. So we say that we want to fix a certain problem, right? And that sounds good. You say, well, this is bad. We can all agree that's bad. And you go, well, this right here, if we did this, it would result in this much of a drop. Very rarely will people ask the question, but what about other things? For example, let's say that we all stayed inside and we followed Big Wretch's recommendation that if we all stay inside and we don't go out there, then the virus won't get any of us because the boogeyman's out there somewhere. Kind of a thing. but it's not calculating mental health. What if we all did that? True. What's the mental health consequences? Well, look at Zoloft. See how that thing's doing right now. Lots and lots of people on SSRIs. People talking about suicide, committing suicide. What about the economic ramifications? What about the social impacts of that? These are not well reported. But it's talking about also this thing about saying, when they use the phrase cases, that it's deeply misleading. First, a person who never develops symptoms is not a case. We are routinely testing people without symptoms, and anyone with a low-grade fever due to employer and institutional policy. Okay? So if they have a low-grade fever, you test them. The CDC has published guidance that discourages retesting, acknowledging that a fully recovered patient can test positive for up to 90 days. Said another way, the PCR test can pick up dead virus incapable of causing infection. So, employers requiring COVID-19 retesting following recovery from the virus are increasing the number of positive tests. And these would not be cases. Additionally, research regarding T-cell immunity, and listen close, means that those who experience a normal immune response to the virus may also test positive and not be infectious. Second, first of all, just ponder that. Ponder that. When you hear cases, we have new cases that are reported. So you're seeing this line, and it makes it look like, you know, there's this priming thing in our brain that we go, case of COVID, whoa, super dupe scary, wow. When it might simply be someone wasn't even showing symptoms. But maybe they were, you know, a while back. Or maybe they weren't showing any symptoms at all. Still a case. But it presents to our brain a scary thing, a specter. Ooh. As the New York Times reported, and additional research supports, our current testing is too sensitive. This is something I learned. This is good. A PCR test has what is called a cycle threshold. The higher the number of cycles, the smaller the amount of virus RNA in the sample that can result in a positive test result. COVID-19 tests in the United States are currently running a higher number of cycles than other countries, meaning they pick up a much smaller amount of the virus. Now, I can see why that might be a good thing. But they're not putting that out there. The media sure as heck ain't. So when they say a case, it's like, is it full-blown? Is it mild? Every time we hear about it, it's scary land, red flashing lights. Images from other countries of people dying. As experts told the Time, a more reasonable cutoff would be 30 to 35. Dr. Mina said that he would set the figure at 30 or even less. And those changes would mean the amount of genetic material in a patient's sample would have to be 100-fold to 1,000-fold that of the current standard for the test to return a positive result. And yet our labs are running 37 to 40. So it's picking up fragments, leftovers. They pose no risk, but they say new cases. We have this many new cases. That's so unscientific, man. That's just radically unscientific. The data shared in the article from 3 states showed up to 90% of positive tests contained COVID-19 virus RNA either incapable of replicating or in sufficient levels to be transmitted. That means rather than the 6.7 million cases reported in the United States today, we could actually be as low as 671,000. Wow. Dramatic. CDC knows this. Why have they not set a cycle threshold standard? Why are we continuing to use tests going through more cycles than needed? If I had to guess, Orange Man bad. Orange Man bad. Here's an example of Orange Man bad. What is up with that hair? What's up with that? 1619 Project. Nicole Hannah-Jones says Trump is trying to stoke racial division. What? The 1619 Project is entirely about stoking it. Oh, well, no. I'm so sorry. It's not stoking it. When you tell all the white people, shut up and listen. You're guilty of the original sin. We need to reprogram you. You need to be reconstructed. The system needs to be taken down. Listen and absorb. Yeah, it's not racial division. Oh my gosh. And it's all over the 1776 Commission that's trying to bring back patriotic education. Crazy. I'm not even going to read that. That's so just... Why would I waste time on that when I could do this? Look at this guy. He's way cooler. Look at that. He's the man. Did you see the video of him recently? This guy out in the park recording and Tucker's fly fishing. And he's out there just by himself. Just fly fishing. And Tucker's wondering why he's recording. He kind of wants to know, what you about, bro? What is this? What's going on with that? Going back to this screen. But he wanted to know. He actually he showed him his tackle box. He makes his own flies. Awesome. Love that guy. But he was talking about the people behind Black Lives Matter, critical race theory, and the 1619 Project, and how they're trying to get it into the curriculums of your children's schools. And I'm saying yours because I'm not letting them do that to mine. And if you do, you get what you got, man. You get what you got. The president today announced the creation of something called the Patriotic Education Commission. Yeah. It will be designed to combat something called critical race theory, which is the lunatic lie. I love how he tucks those in there, man. He's great. He's literally the best, I think, at doing this. That teaches our children that some people are inherently worse than others. Some are morally tainted because of their skin color. That is what they teach. You're morally tainted. And worse than just being tainted, it's not even that you're tainted. It's that technically you're despicable. You are deplorable because you're a racist. And even if you try, sometimes the best thing to do is to shut up. But if you shut up, you might be responsible for violence because white silence is violence. Don't center yourself, white people, unless we ask you to be human shields at our protests. Insane, satanic, demonic, savage crap. Yeah, teaching your kids that destroying property which can be replaced is not violence. See, they don't even understand because they don't believe in private property. They don't believe in private property and don't understand that your right to private property flows from the fact that you have a right to yourself. Not just to own stuff. You have a right to yourself. Things you create, things you make, things you buy with what you've earned. You, person. Even schools that haven't specifically adopted the 1619 Project have some different approaches. Take the Buffalo public school system. This one drove me crazy. I couldn't even believe it. It goes beyond teaching bad history, and it deliberately advances the agenda of Black Lives Matter. One lesson plan teaches 4th and 5th graders to question the importance of their parents. Of course it does. Because they oppose the nuclear family. And not because they're black. What a joke, man. It's because they're Marxist scum. Crush the commies, man. Crush them because they want to crush you. Stop them. Yeah, the guiding principles with students, the so-called black villages that assist in, and we're quoting now, quote, disruption of the Western nuclear family dynamics and return to the collective village that takes care of each other. Oh yeah, tribalism. That's some savage junk, for real. For real. It takes a village. And look, you know, by and large, the people who believe in the nuclear family, there's not an island, man. It's just the source of things. The precedents. And it's that plays into the concept of the state and how a state has authority. Who gives the state authority? The concept of political economy that flows from our ideas of the nuclear family or the collective village. No wonder if it's a collective village, the kind of system that flows from this, wow, look at that. A bunch of commies. Another lesson plan explains to 2nd, 3rd, and 4th graders that, quote, the need for the BLM movement. Okay, well, yeah, I hear about that. Other lesson plans actually teach students the specifics of the BLM platform. Another lesson plan for grades 2 through 4 explains why all lives matter is a problematic phrase. I have a friend who watches the show, actually. I found that out later. It's pretty awesome. I have a friend, he was talking to his buddy, and his buddy's like, you're not one of those, like, all lives matter people, are you? And he says, dude, and these guys have known each other for a long time, and he goes, dude, all life does matter. You know me. I believe this. All life matters. And that guy said, man, dude, bro, you sound like Hitler. Yeah, because Hitler was out there saying all lives matter. No, dude. Tighten the screws. Read a book, man. Read some history, bro. There's a lot out there about Hitler, and one thing you will find is he doesn't ever say, 0 times ever, all lives matter. Definitely not in the way that Americans are saying that. Here's a better one. You know what I want to do? I want to get a flag. If somebody out there knows how to do this, how to make a flag, I'd love for you. I'll pay you. If you know how to make a flag and it's a good flag, I'll pay you. Okay? And what I want is this. I want those just stripes. Let me get it on main banner so I can go ahead and just say this here. What I want is the of course the square, but a rectangle. But I want 4 stripes just all the way around, just all the way through. Okay, stacked on top. Red, yellow, black, and white. Jesus loves the little children. I learned it on my grandmother's knee, and I've believed it ever since. Even as an unbeliever, the idea that all people, that all life matters is something that stood with me from those days in Lingelstown on a porch swing, and she'd push with her foot, rock me to sleep, playing with my hair, singing that song. I've believed it ever since. Super dupe sad. I may have to cut early today. This is driving me nuts. I don't know why this is happening. I'm at 60%. And the thing is my battery, color, or national origin be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. Ooh. Yeah, but the thing is, September 2nd, they were saying that they'd been racist for decades. Man, they're busted, dude. This is bad. Yeah, these equal opportunity assurances in the program participation agreements from at least 2013, that they may have been false. It puts them in a catch-22. If they say, "Oh, no, we're not really racist. Oh, ain't that a thing? So why are you saying that? You're a kook. You're a weirdo, dude. What a sick thing." It's almost like they want to be. But if they say they are, but we need to get those things anyway. No. If you say you are, busted. Yeah, of course, he didn't mean to confess anything. He was virtue signaling, kind of like this. Lady Gaga believes all Americans are born with white supremacy. Is she Jewish? Mega pop star Lady Gaga opined in an interview with Billboard that Americans are white supremacists from birth. We all drink the poison that's white supremacy since you were born. Every person, there's that universal claim. You can't prove this, you dumb idiot. Shut up and sing. Seriously, shut up. You're a bad influence. And you're dumb, apparently. Uninformed, uneducated, or just straight dumb. We all. Yeah, here's the thing. This whole all thing, right? There's this concept that universal like this, when you're making a claim of everybody, you can't verify that. How would you be able to prove this? What studies do you have? Or is this your mysticism showing? Because to me, it sure as heck looks like mysticism. She also stated all music is black music. That's just a fact. Oh my gosh. Alternative music? Are you serious? Classical music? Are you serious? Chant? Are you serious? Country music? Are you serious? No, it's not a fact. What's a fact is that you don't know what you're talking about. You're just virtue signaling. Hey, everybody, you see me? I can say stupid junk too. Good for you. Want a lollipop, you dumb idiot? Social justice is not just a literacy, it's a lifestyle. I'm in the process of learning and unlearning things that I've been taught my whole life. I put on the goggles, and everything that I look and see and hear and all of that is funneled through this grid of lunacy. That's what I was saying. I said a while back, remember? Talking about this lady. What is it with the ladies anyway? But like the lady who said, I used to love watching movies. I used to love listening to music. I used to love reading books. And now everything I see and hear is funneled through my views of social justice. Are you serious? Positive news. And then we're almost done. Okay, let's see where we are now. 59%. We gotta roll. Only 25% of Latinos identify with Joe Biden's progressive identity politics, while more than 60% of Latinos favor Donald Trump's populist pro-American pitch. And this is according to the New York Times. And they were trying to get their views on, quote, a dog whistle message. You know, it's so weird that all of these white and Jewish white liberals are always hearing dog whistles all over the place. And nobody else is hearing it. And it's kind of like, you know, I wonder if, like, you're the dogs. If you're the racist dog. Because you apparently are hearing all of them. Did you ever think about that? Have you ever thought about why those people magically... It's like, I'm serious. They're mystics. They're mystics. Weirdos. Shocked authors. Shocked authors. It's a political problem. Okay. We're going to go ahead. You should read this article here. President Trump announces new 1776 commission. Read it. This is good. I'll just say this here. Let's see. Where is it? Here we go. The idea is for the president to enact the Defense Production Act to order Silicon Valley to operate as the free speech public square because the pandemic has put the physical one off limits. The plan invokes the Defense Production Act's broad authority for the president to allocate services in an emergency, and it orders all internet communication services to be reallocated for use by all of the citizens without discrimination. That'd be amazing. Read it. This is a good one, but I'm not going to go into it. You should check it out yourself. Department of Education, Connecticut Public Schools, transgender athletics policy risks losing federal funding. Again, awesome thing from the DOE. Congress requires the department to withhold funds from schools that aren't in compliance with the law. This one's in compliance with Title IX. Connecticut applicants declined on multiple occasions to assure the Office for Civil Rights that they are in compliance with Title IX. I love this. This is smart. This is not. This is not. But how are we going to deal with this? I'm going to say that, I'm going to do, and I said I was going to start with this or, end with it or whatever. I need to do an off-air video, and I want to actually interview Steve, because this is good. Go check this out. Steve Cox. Only the Catholic faith can ward off leftist assaults on U.S. Learn why he's saying that. I'm a kind of ecumenical guy on this, especially when the whole place is burning down. I'm looking at, other people and saying, I think we are close enough here. We can debate. We can do that. Right? I think I'm right. You think you're right. I got it. But we need to go after those people because they're burning down the whole place. Okay? But I want to interview him. So keep an eye out. Paleocratdiaries.com. Keep an eye out. YouTube.com/Paleocrat. All right. Now, fun times. I don't have much longer. Here we go. Okay, yeah, let's get over to the news screen here. Let's see, where news to? Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay, let me get it framed. Crazy wackos. What? Okay, I guess we're starting with crazy wackos. I guess the category. Yeah, I like crazy wackos for 1,000. All right, here you go. Normally, I agree with every one of your takes, but not here. Child pornography may be superficially abhorrent. Oh my gosh. What is this? Oh, right-wing libertarian. Based Gadsden? Oh, you're not based, dude. You're not based at all. You're based in Pato land, as in, like, located. Let's look him up on Google real quick. Oh, he's on 666 Pato Street. Come on. But it doesn't necessarily violate... Oh my gosh. The non-aggression principle. This is why you do need Jesus, and you don't make up your religion like this guy has, right? And rabid libertarians have made up their religion about this. This is a religious rule, by the way. These people to take that and say, yep, the non-aggression principle is what dictates all. They can't argue that presuppositionally. How Beethoven's Fifth Symphony put the classicism in classical music. Or rather, that's long been the popular read among wealthy white men who embraced Beethoven and turned his symphony into a symbol of their superiority and importance. What? For others, women, LGBTQ plus people, people of color, Beethoven's symphony is predominantly a reminder of classical music's history of exclusion and elitism. One New York City classical, so on and so on. Who cares what that person says? Obviously a complete weirdo. Obviously a weirdo. And I'm sorry that Europeans have been really good at music. I apologize for that. Oh, come on now. Destroy progress. See, I know what they're doing with this, but come on, man. This is not progress. That's not progress, man. That's what it's called, though. I get it. No, yeah, here's that whole thing. Work boots and white jeans. Melania Trump's outfits still missing the mark for some. You listen to that. For some. Who cares, man? That's what it is. Rarely ever does anyone say, everybody loved it. And if they do, they're lying to you. Kamala Harris wears her Timberlands, gets blank. Done. New York Times World, okay. To combat body shaking and promote body positivity, okay, well, no. An award-winning Danish TV show presents 5 naked adults with less than perfect bodies to an audience of 11, 12, and 13. They get to ask the model questions. Why are you so sinful to do this? How long have you been demon-possessed? Right? What's your name so that I can dedicate the intentions of a rosary or a novena to you? And where do you live so I can call the cops? Because you're obviously in the mood for some kids. Remember, kids. I love G.I. Joe too. Remember, kids, knowing Marxism is half the battle. The other half of the battle is slaughtering the communists in the most gruesome ways imaginable. I mentioned something about this on the last show. Look at that. That's the meme I was talking about. Stephanopoulos. Is this real? Is he really that short? I don't think so. No way. No way, man. Yeah, because he's looking like Dorf. I can't breathe. Oh, come on. That's okay. That's rude. Look. I gotta just skip over some of these fat people ones. Maybe not this one. Put a mask on. You're putting my health at risk. I actually saw somebody like it. It's the only reason I showed that one. Am I really only worth $9.99 a month? I died for you. No. Go and sin no more. It's time to follow me. Yeah. I like some of these. I would like more of the religious ones. I got some buddies. You got to get on it, guys. Send me some of those memes, Paleocrat Diaries at gmail.com. Of course, follow me on Facebook at jeremiah.bannister or at Paleocrat, anywhere at Paleocrat. You can find all of that at paleocratdiaries at gmail.com. All right. Behold our newest outreach program. Black Lives Matter. Are you sure this will help us lead men to Christ? Christ? That's exactly, though. I was actually talking to a buddy of mine today, okay? We were talking about how the church is just so jacked. And we're just gonna go straight in. Oh man, I said I'd do some parenting memes. We were talking about it, okay? We were talking about the need to confront the church on how so many people have embraced critical race theory, postmodernism, and just believing we have to adapt to the world. And I said, look, man, this is a real crisis point. I've been saying that for a long time. And he actually approached me. There's a possibility, fingers crossed, possibility that I'm going to be contributing to a book on the topic. Parenting in public. Yep. Parenting at home. Yeah, that's true, dude. I know. I got it. I relate to that. Me watching my mom give away all of the good leftovers. Still to this day, man. I get mad. I get really upset. Last two. Me, when I ask for the price of something and it turns out to be expensive, so I got to act like I'm thinking about, okay, do you relate to that? Because I do. I've had that before, especially in front of the kids, you know, especially once they start getting to know money and stuff, and they're like, well, it's only $200. And you're like, well, okay, yeah. And you're looking at it like all serious. Me, 5 seconds after ordering a pizza. Now, I'm not ordering pizza, but yeah, you see that cat? See this cat in the window? Yeah, that's my kids. That's my kids. All right. We're going to go here and then we're done. We got to roll because I am now at 50%. I told you. I'm keeping the running log, man. Keeping it. All right. You can go live 8 days a week. Give the late night talk show hosts a run for their money. Dude, yes, bro. Holy Faith Media TV. Go find them. Holy Faith Media TV. Look it up on YouTube. Subscribe. Bunch of great shows. You got to do it. Let's give them a run, dude. Let's do it. A friend is not back from her visit at Graceland. Yeah, Lord be with her. No. Yeah, I don't know about the money thing about that. Preppers aren't so crazy now, are they? Peter Burke, dude, I know you. I know Peter Burke. That's old school, bro. That's old school. Were you the one, forgive me, man, were you the one that asked if you could do a cover of one of my songs? Not sure. We got to talk, buddy. We got to talk. What am I using to do that? OBS. Borger. Dean Lerner. So, wait. For 5 years to replace RBG? Yeah, that's what they're saying, Lux. That's what they're saying. 5 years. I love you. I love that. That's awesome. That's great. Let's screenshot that. We're going to screenshot that. Look at this. I need to. Bada boom. You know what? Actually, I need to do a bigger one. I need to get right around the periscope. There we go. Look at this. Look at that. Great one. Gonna keep it. A champion of the law. Also, dying wish was not to be replaced until we had a new president. Not how it works. Yeah, of course. Linda Sarsour is a snake. Joseph Blois. Yes. And thank you, by the way, for checking it out from Periscope. Definitely love it, man. FRBG. Sorry to hear of your loss. I appreciate that, Joseph. A great deal. We've got videos on my YouTube channel. You can check it out. And you'll learn all about my daughter. There's some speeches on there. I'll put my Make-A-Wish speech because I spoke at their annual gala. It's a very, very fancy soiree, you know. Very, very powerful. I think my eulogy at my daughter's funeral, I think, is there, or else it's on Facebook. I'll be uploading all that to paleocratdiaries.com. Every lefty girl is saying, I'm seriously so scared right now. Girl, you'd be a lot more scared if you were in utero right now. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, dude, I need to do that. See, I'm gonna keep some of these. We're gonna share some of these things on Twitter and elsewhere. Isn't Reza the guy who ate human brain? Yes. Muslim turned Christian, turned Muslim again? Yes. Let me see here. Peter's asking what kind of microphone I've got. AKG, man. I've got an AKG. It's not even normally used for this. It's like singing. You know, it's used for certain vocals for singing and stuff. And a buddy from a band gave it to me years ago. A good friend of mine. I'm hoping to interview that guy actually because he directs music videos now. Him and his wife. Really cool videos, by the way. And but he was part of a band. He was a lead singer and guitarist, and he hooked me up with this mic. I've loved it. I hope it never goes away. I love the sound. I think it brings out my voice real well. And my buddy, my friend who was the other guitarist in the band, the lead guitarist in the band, he helped me to figure out how to get it so that it wasn't peaking. So glad Wicked RBG Witch is dead. Willie Hoops. Yeah, I know people, you know, that's how they feel. 18 times in history, the Supreme Court vacancies have been filled during a presidential election year. Obama got away with so much unconstitutional stuff. It was, honestly, criminal. Yes. Lurt Gertz. What do you think Sodom and Gomorrah was like? Yeah. Kathy. Yes. Kathy Little. Hello, my friend. Well, hello back to you. Just bought 2 9mm in Tennessee because I know what's about to be happening. I'm no dummy. That's very, very smart. Michael Caputo actually said go out and buy some ammunition. Make sure to load up. I want to see that 9mm, by the way. Share that picture on my Facebook wall. Or share it on my Twitter. I don't care where. Share your whole beautiful collection. Pliskin, scientists are modern-day doomsday priests, shamans, druids, etc. Yes, saving that one. Saving that. Kimberly, the only sentence that was valid was because I really should not be talking about politics in reference to the biology instructor talking about wishing that people would die, Trump supporters would die. Amen, amen, yep. Property can be replaced, written by a person who's been handed everything they'd been given. Very good one. Gonna keep that. Good luck, BLM, selling that crap to Hispanic families. This is by Luis Medina. You'll get a chanclazo before you know it. What is that? I'm always nervous saying words I don't know, man. I'm always nervous. Is she Jewish? Italian Catholic family from Jersey, my guy. Really? Is she really from an Italian Catholic family? I was just curious. If Dems get their way, Ginsburg can still vote in November. Oh my gosh, that is so great, man. That is Glenn Ryan on YouTube. Yes. Here, man. Oh, I can't get it down any further than that. Hold on. Let's get this window capture. Let's move this bad boy around a little bit. Let's get it up here. Where is it? Right there. Because I think that's the end. Yeah. That's the end. And who's watching, Kathy? Yes. Let me transition that. Okay. So basically the deal is that anybody can be watching it on a number of different channels. Okay, they can be watching it over on Facebook. There's a bunch of Facebook pages and groups. There's Periscope. There's different YouTube channels, and it's all broadcasting at the exact same time. Okay, and so if somebody is on a Facebook page, let's say Paleocrat, and they've never heard of Arana Nation or Catholic Live or Holy Faith TV, or if they're not on my Periscope, or they've never heard of the D-Live channel for Catholic media, whatever. If each group doesn't know of the others, they might be on one platform. As you can see, I'll switch it back over real quick. As you can see how it's got here? You should see, oh yeah, okay. You should see that. It's got Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. And those two Facebooks there might not even be the same Facebook page. Okay? But it all dumps into one big chat room. For me at the end. So you kind of, look, I always tell people, if you really enjoy it and you want to comment, make sure, if you have to go to bed early, make sure to come back and check out the comment section. It's always a bunch of fun. All right. The fun is over. I am so sorry that I had to cut it out a little bit early, but I'm down to 44%, and I just don't know how long that is going to go. Plus, I normally go 15 minutes over anyway. Okay, so sue me. All right, sue me. But I promise, okay, cross my heart and hope to die. I promise that I will get a new battery. And I'll figure out something so that there's no blip here. Okay, we're not going to miss out on anything. You guys are sick freaks. You love to hate me or hate to love me, but you're constantly tuning in. I love it. And look, pray for me because and pray for the show. Pray for the success of the program and the success of other programs on the network. Okay, with Holy Faith TV. Because Jonathan, my manager, Jonathan's got an amazing idea. I love his idea. And I'm not the man for that. I'm the man for this. I love growling into mics and laughing at funny memes and other things. But he's got a skill set that's different. And I'm proud to be working with him. And I hope and pray that this will succeed. Pray for the completion of not only my book that will be published, it's under review, pray, but also pray because I'm doing that where you're publishing a book in November. Okay. And I've also got another book where somebody's talking to me about contributing. So there's a lot of things here and the possibility of doing more evenings throughout the week. I wouldn't mind doing 5. I wouldn't mind doing 6. 5 might be best. Okay. 5 might be best. I don't like Sundays, man, because I love Sundays. That's why I won't do it. Lord's Day. All right. Here we go. Make sure to check out paleocratdiaries.com. It is the hub of all things Paleocrat. Okay, I promised that I would post something there. I did not yet, but I shall. Okay, it's going to happen, and it's going to happen regularly, so you have to go there because that's where you're going to have the one-stop shop for all things Paleocrat, right? Whether it's movie reviews, book reviews, reaction videos, Paleo Cheese podcasts, Meaning of Catholic articles. I just had one. A guy messaged me, sent me an email. Never talked to him in my life. And he was talking to me about having read an article of mine, and I think he read To Live and Die Beneath the Waves. I have another one called The Blinding Light of Darkness. I have 2 over at Meaning of Catholic. And he was reading it, and he said that he couldn't figure out if it was fact or fiction, and then in the end, he realized that it was fact, and his heart was broken. And that all he could think of is, dude, you have to write a novel. Like, you need to be writing a novel. And he found out that I was, and that he's like, man, I got to read the book. I got to know when. Paleocratdiaries.com. That's where you go. That's where you're going to get more than Twitter, more than Facebook, more than those places, and comment on paleocratdiaries.com. If you comment there, or you email me at paleocratdiaries@gmail.com, if you do that, man, I will respond to you. I will respond. Because that's my home. I pay for that. Okay? I pay for that website. And I've made it so that, and that's how I get paid. There are people who are members, and subscribers are free. You can subscribe. You get all this stuff in your email. Every notification. So if I post something, and it's not spammy, man. No spam crap. None of that. Okay? So make sure to go check that out. Make sure to check out Paleo Cheese. You can do that. We're a podcast, but you can also see videos we've done. I'm going to be editing. I have to pick what video I'm going to do, man. I've got a whole bunch of movies. The Thing. I don't know. Yeah, we did The Thing. I haven't done I haven't edited the reaction video to that yet. I plan on it. But I've seen a bunch of scary movies because I'm terrified of scary movies. And so the show has made it so that I talk about these, or I watch movies in the dark by myself. Everyone's asleep. All the lights off. And I'm traumatized. It's scarring for life, man. And so, but they're tons of fun. The Jaws video is a whole bunch of fun. You can hear my kids in that one. Okay, and there's a backstory behind Jaws. I lay it out at the beginning. You can find that at Paleo Cheese, or if you just like to listen, of course you can listen on YouTube. But you can also go ahead and listen on Acast and Spotify and everywhere else. Okay. Let me see. There was something. Okay. I hope everyone is having a vegan day. Yeah. I don't know about that. Vegans love you. Who is that? Who's Eric Rives, man? Is there a regular schedule for live streams? Yes. Yes, Monroe, there is. I have a regular stream. It is, well, if you go to Holy Faith TV, they've got a whole bunch of streams. But as for me, right now, I'm every single Monday, Thursday, and Saturday from 10 till midnight. Just like this. Okay? And I'm trying to make it 5 days. Maybe, we'll see. We'll see how it works. Because I love doing this. I have a really good time. This has been great. I absolutely love engaging with the people. And, I would love to have live calls. Because I've did that on radio, AM, FM most of my life. So, no fear. No fear. Well, all right. Until next time, I hope you have a great Lord's Day tomorrow. I'm actually serving in a solemn high mass. I'm a thurifer, so I went to training today for it. I got to get some sleep because it's a lot of work. I absolutely love the solemn high mass. Okay, it's beautiful, lots of activity. So make sure to have the greatest Lord's Day. Okay, love your family, hug your wife, give your kids kisses, protect them from all those freaky people out there. And remember, never give up. Keep on smiling, and memento mori. If I don't talk into microphones, I don't make that mad cash. Making all that money. Making that mad loot, right?
Mind control.
So we see the minority elite imposing their ideology on an unwilling and resentful populace. This causes a backlash. People get ticked off.
The left is working long and hard to make us feel as if we've done something wrong. Worse yet, that we are the problem. Don't let people just rip on your heritage. Don't let people just rip on your traditions. Don't let people rip on your heroes. Stand up for what you believe, what made you who you are. So unless this disenfranchised majority begins standing up for what they believe in their heart of hearts to be true, I think we'd be left with nothing more than a dirge, and maybe a funeral procession.